the Canucks have not played since March 24th. Thank you. They had a week off. Everything went to hell. COVID ran roughshod over the team, and now there apparently is a return to play plan. Before we get into that, they decided, we all remember that it's the NHL trade deadline, and man, there's a lot of dominoes to fall here. So we're gonna get to them one at a time.
Okay.
Tanner Pearson was renewed very oddly at a very unusual time for a very unusual
amount of money.
Yep. As a rash.
Actually, it's not. It's Vancouver. It's totally usual. In fact, it's lower than usual.
Yeah. Yeah, for a guy that could possibly play in the top 6 next year, it is somehow cheaper than the bottom 6 usual. This happens. Arash wrote a whole article about it that's up at pucksnet.ca, which I recommend everybody check out. And Jim Benning speaks to the media. They speak to they have the Canucks team doctor, and they say that they're not moving anybody at the deadline. The human toll that this took on families and players, and rightfully so, they're not going to uproot anybody. They're going to keep everybody in place because that's the right thing to do. And we go into the weekend going, you know what? That's a tough situation, and that's the right thing to do. And you should do that.
Because we were all also resigned to the fact that this team wasn't going to make the playoffs at this point. So we're like, it's fine.
Whoa. What do you mean we're not making the playoffs?
Oh, sorry. Cover your ears, Arash. Okay. We're having a very real conversation right now.
Yeah, grown-up conversation.
Yeah, don't worry. I can't hear a thing.
And we felt sympathy for the team having to get that Dallas Stars schedule, having to get the Montreal Canadiens schedule, where you play 19 games and what do we got here? 19 games in 30 days the Canucks are going to play. Go ahead, Gita.
Don't you feel so innocent and naive when you think back to mid-March and we're like, yeah, by the time March 31st rolls around, the Canucks will be on par with Calgary and Montreal. Everyone will have played the same amount of games, and then we'll see where the chips fall.
That's where the season really starts, guys.
Yeah, no, I remember those episodes. That was a simpler time.
And we go into the weekend feeling a lot of sympathy for this team, and rightfully so, because they have a schedule from hell coming up, and they have a serious illness virus running through the team that's ravaging them, and they're not ready to play, and now they're getting forced back. Come Monday, forget everything I said about Friday. We're moving the players we don't really like because there might be some value in them, except for Adam Gaudette, who we're not really too sure how they feel about them. Inconsistencies from the front office. Have we had this episode before, guys?
I don't know what you want us to say.
Well,
I mean, it's more so about the rumors swirling around Adam Gaudette than anything that might be even real.
So it's like I said before, this team got COVID, and it was one of the biggest breakouts in any professional team in North America.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment that happened, knowing how absolutely futile, there's no reason for that. The only reason they're playing is basically draft position and whatever little sponsorship revenue or whatever in the NHL being able to say, hey, we made it out, and gosh darn one piece. Jim came out and said, well, these people have families, and they're human beings, and we can't break them up. And when he said that, I'm like, okay, yeah, but you're playing though. Like, you're okay. I get you don't want to, on the trade deadline, you're not going to move players, whatever. That's fine. You want to get back to play. That's, again, we're kind of really pointless.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up to the trade deadline thinking okay, whatever, this is fine. This is the one pass Jim actually can get where he technically doesn't have to trade any players, and we would kind of get it. We'd be like, okay, yeah, we can be upset, but we're more upset at COVID for fucking it up for us than we are Jim Benning for fucking it up for us.
Yeah.
So just behold, waking up Monday and Jim just deciding, you know what? there's a lot of human beings out there and they got parents to be nice to them. Fuck them. And then decided that like Adam Gaudette, they've had pretty much being like, okay, had enough of your shit. Yeet. And then Jordy Ben being like, you want to go Winnipeg? Yeet. We're not. Jim literally came out and just said, we're not re-signing him. Get out of here.
And he's saying
And then-
yeet? Like didn't Kanye used to say that?
Oh my God, you boomer. Do you
One
not know
second
what
here.
yeet is?
Just put an edit point here. Gita, is everything okay?
Oh yeah, Reed was upstairs and the puppy needed to be taken out, but first she destroyed a tennis ball and brought it to show me. Look, because it was really eerily silent.
Oh, look at her go to town on that.
Dude, she killed that. That is a Mortal Kombat level fatality on that tennis ball coming out later this month. Mortal Kombat
we can-
movie 2020.
Don't worry about making noise there. We can just cut that out of your feed. So that's easy.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Wait, I don't know what yeet is either. I'm
What?
also a boomer.
you guys have never seen the Vine where she's like, "This can is empty." Yeet. You've never seen that,
Oh, I mean, Vine was a thing like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
guys.
Vine
come
was
on.
when Shawn Mendes was founded.
Like the to yeet something.
We just gaslit him there. We got him.
No, you guys know what yeet means. Come on.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Grandpa. And
You're okay. Fuck me, Grandpa. You have a Motley Crue record behind you.
back in my day, these were all fields and orange groves.
Back
Now
in
there's
my day,
no.
everything was Bon Jovi, and we know what music sounded like. And now it's just a bunch of people going to do drugs and having premarital sex. The Lord will judge you one day, including you, Jim Benning. What? What did I do? I don't even.
Well, you know.
Oh, well, you know.
Um,
Okay, where are we going off from? Are we paused still? Or are we going?
no, we're good. We're back in there.
I don't even know. Damn it, Ryan.
You were throwing. Adam Gaudette was throwing things like yeet, like some.
Okay, so yeah, it was Adam Gaudette, yeet. Jordy Ben, yeet. And then for some reason, I get it for getting someone like a healthy body in. They liked Madison Bowie, even though analytically he's one of the worst defending defensemen in the league. Like absolute,
yeah,
like
put him on
47
put
hours
him on
or
a
whatever
good-
that movie is where he gets caved in and he has to like cut off his arm and shit.
Yeah.
That's how badly he was getting caved in.
We'll just put him on a good team. With a good
He was on a
defensive
good team.
core like Vancouver, and then he'll just
Oh,
flourish. No, he's a sucker that is brought in. He's a mark that's going to be exposed in the
Yeah,
expansion draft.
if you put him on a bad team, there's a chance he'll get to play.
Well, I mean, he was on Detroit.
Yeah.
and
He
got
was on
caved
the
in.
word. He was on two.
He was on the
some
Caps.
some bad. teams, yeah.
He was on the Caps, and the Caps were good.
Mhm.
But again, he got caved in, and he played like 2 games in Chicago. He's shown that he can produce, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of like I feel like Madison Bowie is just like Jake Virtanen on defense,
Right.
where it's just the physical tools of their mind just is not.
But I
You know,
feel
it's
like
just
he wasn't
physical.
even good enough to be like a throw-in. Like, I need you to take this guy as a favor.
He was on waivers
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago.
We
Yeah.
could have had him for free,
That's the Canuck way.
But then again, yeah, but then
but then
again,
we
you didn't
wouldn't
know-
have given up a draft pick for him, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. But again, I don't think we also Jim in the management group, they didn't know what was going to happen to them. They didn't know that this outbreak was going to happen.
Mhm. Fair enough.
So in terms of the deadline, like, okay, first off, I need to touch on Adam Gaudette very quickly. Because a lot of people are
There's
really
a lot of-
upset.
There's a lot of awful speculation out there.
Yeah, so there's 2 sides. So there's the player. Okay. Adam Gaudette, after his 31-point season, was given a 1-year deal. Come back. You got to work on your 2-way game. You can't just be, you're not effective enough to be just a bottom 6 scoring winger. You're not physical enough. You need to work on the thing. And they also they really wanted to pencil him in as that 3rd-line center. So he came back. After 33 games, he has 7 points. He's not a center. He's a winger. If he's going to be in the NHL, he's going to be a winger. I think at 25 years old, and he's going to be 26. And yeah, at this point in the stage of his career, he's not going to be a center in the NHL. So there's that. The other side, obviously, is all the stuff that happened with COVID. And we're not going to speculate. Everyone kind of can figure out what people are talking about in terms of, oh, he was patient zero or whatever. I think more than anything, it's we don't want to deal with a person that can argue with RFA rights, or we don't want to just let Adam Gaudette go, because we're probably, if we're going to let him go after this season, we're not going to qualify him. We might as well go after someone that, I don't know, we liked a long time ago.
Yeah, the team just
So-
never really seemed to like him that much. As simple as that.
They really wanted to, but it's also like, you know, they had this expectation that he was going to come in from Northeastern and be that third line center.
Mhm.
You know, that kind of Swiss Army knife type of player. He had a really good what is it, the 1920 season, and he came in this year, and yeah, he's been going through his own troubles with his diet and stuff, but he
Mhm.
also super kicked his wife. You know, which I get is charming, but for whatever reason, they moved on from Adam Gaudette. I don't think people should lose their shit over this. And the people that bring up, well, they gave up on Adam Gaudette's potential and they kept Jake Virtanen. Okay, so mistake by management was giving Virtanen a 2-year deal at 2.55, whatever. No one's going to take Jake at that number without salary retained. It's a
Mhm.
mistake that they gave him that contract, but they were also strung to a position where they needed to have someone in a top 6 forward position that, you know, could produce. And Jake had scored 19, and they're like, yeah, why? Okay, why not? It's a whiff, and that contract is going to be done next year, and that'll be off the books. So they traded Gaudette. They got someone that's cost controlled in Matthew Highmore, whom, I mean, the greatest example of the type of player he's going to be is Tyler Mott at best. He's going to be a dude who's just like really hardworking and a forechecker, and he's going to be one of those spark plug guys.
Okay.
And they cleared out some of their junk, and they got some stuff, and yeah, they moved down one round. I'm not going to lose my mind, because in the difference between a fourth and a fifth, especially being Chicago, you know, in terms of you don't
That's,
even know how they're
pretty
going to
much
look next year.
That fifth is pretty much a fourth. It's delightful.
It's pretty much at that point, like the talent drops off, and I'm like, okay, they like that guy, they like Madison Bowie. Okay, fine, go just get your weird reclamation project, and yeah, he's expansion eligible, so that frees up another position and everything.
You know what's going to happen with
Yeah.
Madison Bowie, don't you? He's going to play the exact type of game. Like he played in he's the exact type of defenseman that he played in the Western League. He was captain of the Kelowna Rockets. Travis Green's going to remember him because he was coaching the Portland Winterhawks at the time. Jim Benning's going to remember him because he was scouting him at the time for Boston. And all of these players that Jim picks up in reclamation projects were probably players he couldn't have drafted when he wanted to for the Boston Bruins. So like every Canuck, everybody that's like high on his list was somebody he scouted 8 years ago. So Madison Bowie's going to come in. He's going to play not great, but he's going to be like slightly reliable in like the 5th, 6th role, and they're going to re-sign him. And it's like, you don't need this guy.
Well, okay. So he signed a 2-year $700K contract with Chicago this offseason. So next he's on contract. He's under contract for another year at 700,000, which again, it's controllable.
That's
It's
peanuts,
a person
man.
you can say, yeah, it's a 6'7" guy, you know, an extra guy that we can just have.
Jim is still in charge for 2 more years, according to Jim, which means he is going to be able to re-up that contract.
Yeah, he's gonna put his.
I'm just
stamp
getting
on
anxiety all the time because I can't say that you're wrong, Gita.
No, you can't say that I'm wrong. Like it's such a head scratcher as to like why he's still using his notes from 8 years ago.
So okay, so let's bring up Tanner Pearson for a second, just because we memed about it. But look at the play. Like when I talk about comparable wingers that are out there, what Chicago did. Look at what Chicago did. So Chicago goes out, they trade, you know, in a part of other parts with various little fringe prospects, but they essentially trade like Lucas Wallmark and Matthias Janmark. They signed them this prior offseason. Now, Matthias Janmark is a comparable to Tanner Pearson, very,
Okay.
very much comparable. Lucas Wallmark is more of like a fourth line bumped up to like a third line center, barely kind of position. But they turned those players, those 1 year UFA deals,
into anything.
into into picks and other prospects. Now, like Henrik Borgstrom from Florida kind of fell off the map, but at one point, he was a highly touted prospect, and maybe he just fell out in Florida. He screwed off overseas. He's kind of meandering there. But if anyone can kind of have a reclamation project, it's Chicago. You got Johnny Tays there and Kane, and they figured that out. So you look at the contract that was given out to Tanner Pearson. What is so frustrating about it, and this is what I wrote in the article, is that
Available now at pucksnet.ca. Go read Arash's
I'm just going to quickly read it. It's like a 3-minute read. I don't sound like an idiot there. I sound like I don't know. I sound like I have an education.
The Pucks on Net red pen didn't hit this one very hard. I will say that based on my emails.
Yeah, we had to take out all the ethnic slurs based around Iranians, oddly enough. In there. I really wanted to bury my own people for whatever reason. I was in a mood. I'm allowed to say it. You can't edit it out. I'm allowed to say it because my people. Yeah, what are you gonna do, Ryan? Huh?
Nothing.
Huh? Bill Gates, you're gonna fucking microchip me, man. So Tanner Pearson gets his contract extension, and it's just very frustrating because you see the return that a winger like him can get. And when Jim came out and said these people are family, they have families, and what they've gone through is really tough. I get that. But the moment that you move
with that, if that's what you're going to say,
the moment you open Schrodinger's box and you reveal that you actually don't really give a fuck, or there's some people that, oh yeah, Adam Gaudette, and yeah, Jordy Ben he didn't really have COVID and whatever, and et cetera, et cetera. Once you show the willingness to do that, then you have to kind of push in. So they extend Tanner. You see comparable wingers and players get second plus a third. Other that they're all around the market. So you miss out on that opportunity when you can just refill that slot in the next offseason. And then the moves that they made during the deadline today, not really bad. So for me, it's kind of a wash.
It's always a wash though with this organization.
It's a wash. Like the Madison Bowie one is the one that kind of I was like, oh, okay, like I get it, but all right, fine. You just have to with this management group. We've never had a position where it's like, yeah, okay, cool. There's always a wait a second. I've got a trade to announce. Like, God damn it, we thought we were giving JT Miller. We got JT Miller just for a second. Remember that during the deadline? That was the biggest bait and switch of my life. It was day 2, and they're like, "Oh, guys, JT Miller's been traded to the Vancouver Canucks, and I believe it's just a pick and Marek Mazanik." And we're like, "Oh, it's round," and it's brilliant. It was day 2, so we're like, "Oh, it's probably just our second," and in that, because there's no way we would trade our first, and then it's like. And everyone's like, "Oh, holy shit, yo, what up?"
There's another line to this tweet.
It's crazy because they just traded a first for next year, and we're all like, "Oh, of course."
You know what? That gamble doesn't concern me. It's what they're gonna do when it comes time to re-sign JT Miller that concerns me. Everything long term, everything next step with this organization is what
he has. What, 3 years left?
Yeah. I wish it was longer. I wish he had Jeff Carter's deal, who we'll talk about later.
Every long-term contract is just a little extra longer than it necessary.
Yeah.
With this regime of management.
And the ones we want to be longer are just 1 or 2 years shorter. We'd like look at Brock Besser. What's going to happen when he hits the UFA market after a pretty damn good healthy season? Like, you have all of these big important contracts that you are expecting that front office to figure out. and make good deals on and construct a team under a salary cap.
No.
That's what concerns the shit out of me.
They're going to apologize because they weren't able to find a way to hang on to Brock Besser because they thought they should give him not a longer term deal.
True.